PK Kemsley teases next chapter amid Dorit Kemsley divorce. Paul PK Kemsley has his eyes on the future while navigating big changes to his family life. It was less than 2 weeks ago when PK's estranged wife, Dorit Kemsley, filed for divorce after 10 years of marriage. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills dad has yet to publicly comment on the move. However, his latest update suggests he's maintaining a positive outlook, particularly when it comes to his personal growth. 57 years in, still becoming, he captioned the May 2 post, which showed him sitting at a table holding a phone to his ear. PK Kemsley gives an update on his son, Jagger Kemsley. Days after Dorit's filing, PK shared a couple of Instagram reels, shedding more light on his role as a father. The UK-born businessman posted photos and videos of his son Jagger Kemsley's musical performance in the park. One of the clips showed the 11-year-old boy dancing and singing on stage, while another shot showed him posing alongside his father. "It's time for a park performance," he wrote in the posts. "Couldn't get the sound, but was magical." In addition to Jagger, Dorit, and PK, also share a 9-year-old daughter, Phoenix Kemsley. PK Kemsley and Dorit Kemsley announced their separation. The estranged couple confirmed their separation in May 2024, shortly after celebrating their 9th wedding anniversary. "To safeguard our deep friendship and maintain a harmonious environment for our children, we have made the mutual and difficult decision to take some time apart and reevaluate our relationship while we prioritize our children," they wrote in a joint statement. "We appreciate your love and support while we continue to do the work necessary throughout this journey. With love, Dorit and PK." Dorit Kemsley admits she didn't want to file for divorce. In the months following the announcement, Dorit and PK put on a united front for their children, coming together for fun occasions, like holidays and kids' sporting events, as well as more serious moments, like Jagger's 2024 health scare. Dorit addressed her and PK's post-split relationship on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills after show, admitting she didn't know what her next steps would be. "I don't think PK wants to get divorced," she told her castmate Bozoma St. John. "I think he needs to understand what he's doing before I can understand what he's doing. It's very complex. Now, I'm not suggesting that I know what I want. Because, Boz, I'm not in a place where I can tell you, I really want this, or I really want that." Although she insisted she didn't want a divorce, Dorit confessed she didn't know if she wanted marriage. Dorit Kemsley says she and PK Kemsley don't have much of a relationship. Fast forward to the rhobh season 14 reunion, when the mother of two revealed she and PK had hit another low point. "He's my soul, he's my blood, he's my heart, and I hate that because it makes it so much more difficult, but I also know I need peace," she said. "As of a week ago, I've chosen not to have much of a relationship with him. I'm hurt, I'm sad. I think I'm realizing more and more each day that what I really believed was going to be my future may not be, and I think that realization has really been hard." The morning light slanted through the blinds of the Beverly Hills townhouse, streaking across the walnut table where Paul PK Kemsley sat, phone pressed to his ear. The faint ticking of the wall clock, once drowned out by family breakfast chatter and Phoenix's cartoon theme songs, now echoed in the silence of a home learning how to breathe without the rhythm of its old life. "Yeah, I'll call you back," PK said softly, ending the call. He stared at the phone for a moment longer, not ready to rejoin the world just yet. He posted the photo seconds later, a quiet moment, a pensive look, a caption that said more than he was ready to speak aloud. 57 years in, still becoming. It wasn't just a throwaway line. It was an invitation, a promise to himself, a breadcrumb trail toward whatever version of PK was waiting just around the next bend. The fracture beneath the glamour. The separation hadn't happened in a day. From the outside, the world saw an Instagram-perfect marriage, jet-setting vacations, red carpet appearances, designer wardrobes, and holiday posts that glowed with filtered warmth. But behind the walls of the estate in Encino, behind the glimmering reality TV-ready smiles, things were unraveling one missed conversation at a time. Dorit, radiant and restless, had tried. So had PK. But the weight of expectations, the fatigue of fame, and the silent erosion of trust chipped away at the foundation they'd built. Arguments became silences. Silences became assumptions. And eventually, assumptions turned into separate bedrooms and separate dreams. When Dorit finally filed for divorce in late April 2025, PK felt less like a man losing his wife and more like a man waking up from a long sleep. She didn't want to do it. He admitted one night over a scotch with an old mate, but neither of us knew how to fix it. You can't glue a house together with apologies. Jagger's song. But not everything was breaking apart. Just days after the filing, PK stood in a sun-drenched park in Leh, his phone aimed at the small wooden stage. His son Jagger, 11 years old and bright-eyed, stepped onto the platform with a microphone in hand. He was performing a medley he'd practiced for weeks, rehearsing in the kitchen, in the car, anywhere he could get a captive audience. PK didn't get the sound right when he recorded. The wind picked up and drowned out most of the vocals, but none of that mattered. The smile on Jagger's face, the way he danced like he didn't care who was watching. That was music enough. Later that night, PK posted the clip. "It's time for a park performance," he wrote. Couldn't get the sound, but was magical. And it was. It reminded him that even when life is messy, even when you're losing your bearings, the laughter of your child can pull you back to yourself. Rebuilding without blueprints. PK wasn't a stranger to reinvention. He'd built businesses from scratch, lost fortunes, made new ones. London had taught him hustle. Vegas had taught him stakes. Beverly Hills taught him polish. But now he was entering territory he couldn't charm or negotiate his way through. Divorce. Not the public spectacle. He could handle that. It was the private grief that rattled him. Late at night, when Phoenix was asleep and the house was quiet, PK would sometimes find himself scrolling through photos from the past decade. Dorit in Santorini, laughing over wine. Jagger as a toddler, clinging to his neck. Phoenix's first day of school. Memories were funny that way. They softened the rough edges, made you forget the arguments, the slam doors, the icy dinners. Still, he respected Dorit's choice. "She's my heart," he confessed to a friend. But sometimes, even your heart needs to break so it can beat differently. The house that became a mirror. After the separation announcement, the once bustling Kemsley home fell into an uneasy quiet. Dorit spent more time at her mother's. PK alternated between work trips and fatherhood duties. The walls of the house started to feel like mirrors. Everywhere PK turned, he was confronted by himself, who he was, who he pretended to be, and who he might still become. He stopped drinking as much, started walking every morning at sunrise, not for fitness, for clarity. Sometimes he'd pass couples on the trail, young ones, old ones, and wonder if any of them had ever truly cracked the code. "Maybe love isn't about lasting forever," he muttered to himself one morning. "Maybe it's about showing up while you can, and letting go when you have to." Dorit's confession. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion aired just days after Dorit's court filing. PK wasn't ready to watch, but he couldn't look away either. Dorit sat there, flawless as ever, but her voice cracked as she spoke. "He's my soul, he's my blood, he's my heart," she said, her eyes glistening. "And I hate that, because it makes it so much more difficult, but I also know I need peace." She paused. "As of a week ago, I've chosen not to have much of a relationship with him. I'm hurt, I'm sad. I think I'm realizing more and more each day that what I really believed was going to be my future may not be." PK turned off the TV and sat still for a long while. He didn't cry. He didn't text her. He just sat there with her words echoing in his chest, more painful than any headline. But somehow, he respected her more than ever. a father's duty. Through it all, Jagger and Phoenix became PK's compass. He threw himself into fatherhood, not as an escape, but as an anchor. School pickups, violin practice, bedtime stories. Phoenix had a new fascination with astronomy, so they bought a telescope. On clear nights, they would sit on the deck, staring at constellations, naming them after made-up Greek gods and British rock bands. "This one's the Liam Nebula," Phoenix giggled one night. "Only if the next one is the Galador Galaxy," PK laughed. These moments, small and infinite, reminded him of who he needed to be, not for Dorit, not for the cameras, but for the two people who still looked at him like he could do anything. Becoming PK. By mid-May, the public had begun to notice a shift in PK. There were fewer designer suits and nightclub appearances, more realness, more reflection. In an interview with a UK podcast, he finally broke his silence. "Dorit and I, we loved each other deeply, still do in some form. But sometimes, love changes its shape. I think the bravest thing we've done is admit that and protect our kids through it." He took a breath. "I'm not done yet. I'm still becoming. Still learning how to be a man my kids can look up to, even if the picture doesn't look like it used to." That line stuck. It trended. Still becoming. The next chapter. The day the divorce papers were finalized, PK didn't make a spectacle. No cryptic posts, no tequila shots with friends. Just a quiet dinner with Jagger and Phoenix at a family-friendly sushi place. Later that night, he tucked Phoenix in, turned off the lights, and sat on the balcony with a notepad in hand. He wrote, "This isn't the end of a story. It's the end of a chapter. She gave me 2 beautiful children, some of my happiest years, and enough love to last me a lifetime. But now I write for myself, for my kids, for the man I'm becoming." He didn't know what was next. Maybe a memoir, maybe a new business venture, maybe just more sunsets and less noise. But he was no longer afraid of becoming. He was finally ready for it.